You're watching The Language of Business with Greg Stoller.
A kid from Roxbury works his way out of the housing projects and gets into Boston College. From there, he becomes fascinated with sporting event management. Except not here, in China. The big question is, when he speaks Chinese, does he do so with a Boston accent? Tom McCarthy, welcome to The Language of Business.
Thank you very much, Greg. Pleasure to be here.
You've been in Asia since 1987. What caused you to go over?
Well, basically, I come out of the coaching business at the collegiate level and moved into a shoe business company called Etonic, which is very famous down in Brockton, and became the vice president of sourcing, and all these trips back and forth every month got a little expensive for the company. So I landed in Hong Kong in, I think, 1987, right. Started visiting and moved in 1991. And bumped into a guy that got hired from the Denver Nuggets when Rupert Murdoch bought Star TV.
Sure.
And what happened was they invited me to take your seat.
Right.
And I became the voice of the NBA for 3 years when they first hit Asia, a 53-country network. So from there, then I got invited to run basketball for Asia, which is now FIBA Asia. So
sure.
I looked over 44 countries and slowly but surely made my way towards the Middle Kingdom.
When did you transition from Hong Kong to mainland China?
I moved out of FIBA Asia, or the Asian Basketball Confederation, in end of 2001, and made the decision that China was actually bigger than Asia in terms of the development of sports. So I started a company with a lady, Lin Xiaowu, who is still with me to today. And we've had 2 or 3 companies along the way.
And what did the company do?
Our company now is what we would call a boutique sports event management and consultant company. So our main objective is to identify either growing sports, and for me, I like to be on the front end of things.
Sure.
So we moved from baseball into tennis and got very fortunate that Li Na and Junji and players like that came out and won Grand Slam championships. And then at the same time, we had purchased all the rights for the China national tennis team.
Talk to us about your business model. Is it ticket sales, is it commission deals, or all of the above?
We are primarily sponsorship driven because we don't own the facilities. And being a boutique company, we're not operating in the sphere like AEG or IMG,
sure,
that are the big gorillas in the industry. They have tons of cash, so they go out and they buy the stadium and this thing. What we do is we do deals with stadiums on the professional tournament. The last couple of years we've been in Shenzhen, right across from the Hong Kong border. For the other things, it's more renting out facilities, tennis clubs, etc.
And so you're making money by sponsoring it, getting advertisers to contribute, you're renting out the stadium, the difference becomes your profit.
We purchase, and then to build the program, then we go out and identify title sponsor, presenting sponsor, official supplier, and go right down the list. And hopefully we accumulate enough money to pay the bills, and then have a nice little net profit coming out of there.
How have you been able to do this successfully over so many years without being fluent in Chinese or Cantonese?
You must have, first of all, a good partner. I was very, very fortunate to meet Lin Xiaowu. They cut through the red tape, and they can sometimes stop your foot from going in your mouth before it gets all the way in. So that would be the number one thing. And there is no business outside of China that has any success at all in China without a good local partner.
After 27 years, your biggest cultural problem you've encountered?
In China, there is a disease it's called the Nike effect. Put on my shoes and run at the first sign of danger, or at the first sign of a lot of profit can be grabbed. And this is a big danger. I've gone through I'm owed much more than I've made, I'm owed. I've had things like the Beijing Olympic Stadium. My rights, 10 years later, just ran out, yet I never participated in those rights because somebody on the side of the government sold them to David Stern and to AEG, to Tim Lewicki. So I had to decide, should I sue right before the Olympics and never do business again if I won, or turn the other way and go on and move on?
Are the margins better for what you do in the United States or in China?
Over the last few years, there's no doubt that everybody can make a lot more money in China than in the U.S., just on the salaries and things like that alone. as you get more and more into a business and doing something every year, the same thing, like a particular event or a program, you naturally learn where you're wasting time, because time is more important than money in some instances, and the money.
Basketball, baseball, other sports on your horizon?
We've just begun to do some golf with the China Golf Association. We always like to do things. We like to, number one, select a sport that is an Olympic sport, because in China, the Olympic sports get all the money from the government. Like baseball right now is out. When we bought them, we knew that they were going in, and right before they're going in, we bought the rights. So the rights value jumped up once they went in the Olympics, because now money's coming in from the government to help the association. So we try to, first of all, select an Olympic sport. And then second, you want to get into a sport that you think that there's upside. We got in on the front end of tennis, just after they won the gold medal in Greece, and right before the Zhengji and Yinze jumped out and won Wimbledon and Australian Open, Wimbledon, back to back. So right there, it gave a big jump start to tennis, and now people started to play, because anytime they see either an icon like Yao Ming, who we've done a lot of work with, or Lu Zhong, the runner, or now Li Na, who's basically want to come out of our system, everybody runs out and gives their kid a tennis racket or a basketball or a pair of track shoes, and oh yeah, you're going to be the next one. And so you have a rush that we would consider, if you did by percentages, very small. That's another thing in the United States they kind of can't get their head around. There's 1.4 billion people there. So if you move the needle by 1%, that's very, very big. There are a lot of people all of a sudden playing your sport. So our job is two things. We need to develop young kids to come in to fill national teams and win Grand Slams and all this. On the other thing, to make the base bigger with participation.
Tom, thank you.
Thank you.
Tom McCarthy, President and CEO of the Beijing International Group, where he certainly knows how to think big.
The power of branding.
We'll talk with entrepreneurs all over New England about marketing, relaunching, logo development, and tweaking their brands for growth.
Next time on The Language of Business.